So hey there guys, so today's video is going to be reviewing a release before it comes out, and that is going to be The Lost Story by Meg Shaffer. I just got this in my book of the month yesterday, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do like a pre-review of this book and let you guys know my thoughts before it comes out. I believe this is going to be released July 16th, 2024. Let me just make sure of the date. So I've now been subscribed to Book of the Month for like 3 months at this point, and I still have not read any of my books of the month that I've actually received. So yes, it says it comes out July 16th, 2024, and I just was pretty interested in reading this one. There was actually some really good releases and good options for Book of the Month that's for July, because I feel like a lot of people were disappointed with the choices in June, and I kind of felt the same way, but I went with A Talent for Murder for June, which I also still haven't read yet, and I haven't read my other 3 books that I have from Book of the Month, because I started with Book of the Month, I believe, in May, and I still haven't read any of them. So I'm like, let me actually read one of my books of the month, and also, like, it kind of got me to read it because it's not out yet, and I really just want to read it before it comes out. So that's why this book was now the next book on my TBR. So I'll read you guys the synopsis. So it says, as boys, best friends Jeremy Cox and Rafi, oh my God, can I speak? Howell went missing in a vast West Virginia state forest, only to mysteriously reappear 6 months later with no explanation for where they'd gone or how they'd survived. 15 years after their miraculous homecoming, Rafi is a reclusive artist who still bears scars inside and out, but has no memory of what happened during those months. Meanwhile, Jeremy has become a famed missing persons investigator. With his uncanny abilities, he is the one person who can help vet tech Emily Wendell find her sister, who has vanished in the very same forest as Rafi and Jeremy. Jeremy alone knows the fantastical truth that while the rest of the world was searching for them, the 2 missing boys were in a magical realm filled with impossible beauty and terrible danger. He believes it is there that they will find Emily's sister, but for his own inscrutable reasons, Jeremy has kept Rafi in the dark since their return. However, the time for burying secrets comes to an end as the quest for Emily's sister begins. The former Lost Boys must confront their shared past, no matter how traumatic the memories. And it says, continued on back flap. Alongside the headstrong Emily, Rafi and Jeremy must return to the enchanted world they called home for 6 months, for only then can they get back everything and everyone they've lost. So I think it's going to be fun. I mean, I have started it. I'm on page 77. I got like the first 75 pages in last night because I was a little bit tired, so like I didn't want to read the whole night, and also I had already finished a book yesterday. I finished Happily Never After yesterday. So basically right now, Jeremy and Rafi have reappeared after all of this time with like no explanation, but also like she hasn't really gone into what happened to Jeremy and Rafi yet, but apparently they have been in this magical world for, I think, like 15 years. I'm not really sure how long the time was. It said it in the synopsis. So right now Jeremy has met Emily because Emily has been following Jeremy since he's now like a famous private investigator, and he specializes in finding women and girls, not really male victims. So So that's where we're at right now. And also they have just went to find Rafi. Like Emily asked Jeremy to find her sister, and they team up to go to get Rafi because he said that the only person that can help find your sister will be Rafi, because I believe she's still alive, because Emily believes that her sister is dead because she's been missing for such a long time. But as I've been reading the first 75 pages, I feel like we're not getting to where I want the book to go already, because I feel like 100 pages is a little bit too much setup for the magical world to be happening already. We kind of got a little bit of a teaser, like when she goes to find Rafi, like things started changing around her and she felt like she was going to a different world. But after that, it just went back to like Jeremy talking to Rafi, and I'm kind of getting like a little bit bored, because I'm like, I really wanted to read this so I can have like a magical, whimsical time, because that's the mood that I'm in right now. Is just, I need something magical, and I thought this was gonna do it for me. Like, I know it's gonna get more magical as soon as they get to the world, so I kind of like skimmed through a little bit ahead to see where, like, just to, you know, like flipping through the pages, not like I was really reading it. I was just like, oh, when does it get magical? And it's not until like almost 120 pages in. So I'm like, I feel like this is kind of unnecessary at this point, because it's not like the story is hard to follow. Like, it's a very simple, straightforward story, and I'm enjoying it enough. But I just feel like that setup should have been already done within the first 50 pages, and I feel like we should have already moved on to the magical world already. But I feel like it's necessary, but at the same time, it's like, again, we don't need it like explained too much more, because like, it's not like these characters are too complex, and it's not like this story is too hard to follow. So we'll see where it ends up going. Again, I'm not really too far into it, so once I get like halfway through, which I probably will today, because I'm intending to read up to page at least 200 or 2 something, and probably finish it tomorrow. But I literally don't have any other plans today besides going to the dentist later, and I have to do some laundry. So basically I'm home, that I could probably get very far into this book, but it depends on if I want to. So but I'm still gonna be reading it, because I do really want to finish it before it comes out. Like, I still have another week until it comes out. It's only July 9th today, but I thought it would be fun to like vlog this, because I haven't really vlogged like reading vlogs like literally at all, because I feel like they would just take me so long to get to editing them and posting them, because I'm reading all the time, that it's like I don't have time to edit videos as much as I would have liked to. Like, usually the only 2 videos I'm so excited to edit now will be like my wrap-ups for the month and my TBR for the new month. So those are like literally the 2 videos that I post like right away, because I literally can't wait to get them up. But then after that, I'm just like, whatever, I'll post the other videos when I can. So yeah, we're gonna see how far we get today, and I'll check in later. Okay, so I wanted to make one more check-in before I get a little bit further into this book. I just got up to page 110, so I didn't read too much. I read like 30 more pages, but I did want to make a check-in when I got to over page 100. I'm not really understanding some of this dialogue that's in this book, and I'm not saying like I don't understand it, but I'm saying like I don't understand why this type of dialogue is in this book. It's like super cringy, because I know that they're actually, Jeremy and Rafi aren't teenagers. They're older now, because like I said, they went missing for a while, and now they're back as like older men. obviously, because they've aged now, or maybe they didn't age, but, nobody has said anything about that, so I feel like they would have pointed that out really early if they didn't age. So anyway, there's just some really cringy dialogue going on, and I almost feel like it's like too adult for this type of book, because I thought I was just going to read like kind of a fairy tale kind of story. And I feel like we're still building up to something magical happening. And I feel like the last 2 chapters that I just read were just straight up filler. So there's like this cringy line, like a couple of pages back, about like they're trying to ask each other about their sexuality. And I'm like, okay, like, I get it, but I just have to read this line. So it says, so when did Cupid's arrow first hit you? The day you met Roth? Or was it later? And then it says, day we met, the second we met, for me anyway. And then she says, gay, bi, pan, fun at parties. Which, like, okay, if she's curious, whatever, but the way that it was phrased was just kind of cringy. And then he's like, that's not even remotely archery related, and I prefer the term unisex. And then she says unisex, and then he says this really adult joke, and he says, like a t-shirt fits both men and women, plus t-shirts are tops. I'm like, this is like straight up really sexual. I'm like, what is this doing in here? Like, I'm all for like, it doesn't bother me. Like, smut does not bother me. I love a good romance with some good smut. Like, okay, like I'm all for it. But this is not that type of book, and I'm just like, this dialogue just feels so not understanding, but just so out of place. So, and then she said something else, like on another page, which basically she was like, boobs and boners aren't for me, or like something like that. And I was like, what is this doing in here? Like, they already said, like, if they were gay, and it's like, whatever, like, I don't care about that, but like, it's interesting to know, but like, I don't know why she's like inserting these kind of lines that are kind of cringe and uncomfortable and weirdly placed in this kind of book. And I'm just like, I thought we were just going to be reading about, like I said, a magical land that they got lost in. But I feel like, again, this is like way too much buildup for like the next 200 pages. And I'm not going to check in again until I get up to page like 200. So, and also, she actually, this is only her second novel. She wrote The Wishing Game, which was a huge hit. I actually still have that book, and I still haven't read it yet. I was actually fully intending on reading it before I read this book, but again, I wanted to read this before it came out. But so far, I'm just not really loving this. I'm only getting like maybe 3-star vibes right now. After only, I mean, I'm 100 pages in, but I can kind of tell whether I like a book or not after like the first 100 pages. Like, but I feel like this is going to get better. The only parts that I've been kind of enjoying so far is that the like storyteller, like narrator, like there's like a couple pages like every other chapter of like the storyteller like saying things about Jeremy and Roth and like how they met each other and all of that. And it was cute, like saying like the ingredients to a good fairy tale. I thought that was adorable the way that it started. And she's like and then storyteller is the storyteller of Jeremy and Roth and Emily's story. So it's cute when it goes to that, but also like I was like very excited for the way that Roth and Jeremy met each other, and it was kind of like a letdown because it wasn't even that big of a deal that the narrator was kind of making it, because Raph was like, oh, we just met in school, and then like, who the hell is honking? They're just honking on the street here. But when like the storyteller was like, ignore Raph, this is how they really met, and I was like, oh, that's really funny and cute. But then, like, it was only about that they were both outsiders in school. And I was like, I thought, like, maybe they discovered something magical in, like, the backyard of their school or something. And they were like, what is this? We need to find out. Like, and I thought they, like, teamed up to be, like, this magical team. And I thought that would be really cool. But it's like, no. Anticlimactic again. So we're going to continue reading this today. Like I said, I really would like to get up to page 200 before we go to the dentist later. So that's like another 90 pages. But maybe we'll read another 60 pages. But as long as I get up to page 170 something or 177, then that will be 100 pages that I've read today already. So that's only like another like 60-something pages, which is a lot more achievable. So I think I'm just gonna do some laundry. Who is honking? It sounds like they're just pulling up a driveway. I don't think they're pulling up our driveway. No, I don't know. I'm confused. So yeah, I'm gonna go. And my dogs are barking because I think that they think that they're on our driveway, and again they keep on like honking their horn for no reason. So yeah, I'm gonna get dressed, do some laundry, and I will check in later. But so far I'm not really understanding what this is supposed to be, because I'm like, I thought this was gonna be like a magical, whimsical story, and so far it's not. It's just like a bunch of cringy dialogue, and I'm kind of getting a little bored. So hopefully it'll pick up, because if it doesn't pick up by page 160, I don't know how I'm going to feel, because that will be literally halfway through. So yeah, that's it. Bye. So it's been a little while. It's been like a couple of hours. I actually got dressed and put on a pair of jeans because I have to leave soon for my dentist appointment. But I did say that I was going to make another check-in when I hit page 200, and now I'm on page 201. So I got a decent amount in. So I read another 90 pages since my last check-in. So I read from page 77 last night to 201. So I read like over 120 pages already. I do think it's going pretty fast. I don't feel the same about this book as I did about frickin' Middle of the Night, where I was bored to tears like 50 pages in. But I do have to say this took a while for it to be a little bit more engaging, but we did finally get to the magical world, but they kind of like just transported there really suddenly, and then all of a sudden they wake up and there's like knights and a queen around them. So that was cool, and then we were introduced to some magical creatures, and the narrator keeps on making appearances and telling you like, she gave you more of a backstory of Rafe and Jeremy's story, so I felt like a little bit more intrigued because we finally got some more story on the two of them, and they are in love with each other. But I basically knew this already because I read some reviews of this before I picked it on for my book of the month. And some people didn't love it, and some people really, really liked it. So far I am enjoying it. Like, but I don't think this is my favorite book ever. I already know this is not going to be 5 stars because I'm 200 pages in. And I just feel like something is kind of missing, but I'm still enjoying it. But like for me, like 5 stars will make me laugh a lot because like I feel like the dialogue has to be a little bit more upbeat and more intriguing and just more fun for me in order for me to rate a book any higher than like a 4. I'm still only getting like 3 stars, maybe 3.5 vibes from this, because it's definitely a book that I don't think I'm going to be thinking about once I finish it. I'm just not invested enough in this story, but it is enjoyable, but it does feel like literally a bad copy of the Chronicles of Narnia because she constantly makes references to C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia in this book, and I guess that's what inspired this book. But I don't know, it's not the same magical feeling as you would get from The Chronicles of Narnia, which I've actually never read those books, but I've seen all the movies and I really do enjoy the movies. I really want to rewatch the movies at some point, but how am I supposed to rewatch anything when I'm reading all the time? But yeah, I also love this cover. I don't know if I said, but I'm really enjoying this cover. I think it's really, really pretty. But yeah, I'm just glad I'm finally reading one of my books of the month. I think I'm gonna finish this later because I only have 119 pages left. So, like I said, I read 120 pages already today in like the span of maybe 2 hours. So, maybe a little bit more than that, but it is an easy book to read, but I just felt like the beginning was very slow, so I felt like it took a little while for me to get invested into it, and then once we got to the magical part, I think it's interesting. I really am thinking that some aspects are really interesting, and also the other thing is that the magical land doesn't have a king. Like, a king cannot rule the land. Rafe is actually a prince, and Jeremy is a knight. You find this out, and again, I would think that people would know that they would play some, magical part in the Queen's court because they are very special to this land because they've been there a long time, or that's where they disappeared, but they don't remember what happened, and now all their memories are coming back to them as they're in this land. So it's been intriguing, but again, it's not my favorite book ever, but so Emily is found. I'm not going to say by who because that is a spoiler, but you find out why he's been calling her princess this whole time. Rafe keeps on calling her princess, and she's stop calling me that. And then you realize that she is actually a princess in this land. And the person that takes her says, if I don't come back, you're going to have to rule this land to replace me. You're going to have to become queen because you are a princess. So, only a queen can rule the land, not a king, which I actually think is a pretty cool concept as well. So I guess we will find out very soon as to why that is. Because, again, we only have 119 pages left. So I guess what I'm predicting is that Jeremy and Rafe are definitely going to fall back in love with each other again. And also I think that one of them is going to have to save each other's lives, and then Emily's going to have to make a decision on whether or not, or she has to wait until this person comes back to make sure that she is coming back to rule the land, because Emily has never been here before. It's kind of a little similar to Cruel Prince because, and I kind of keep on making comparisons with this book to Cruel Prince because it's very similar. Not with Faye, but it's a similar concept in the beginning as to where mortals go to Feyland, and this is like these mortals are going back to this magical land that they got lost in. So it's like a little similar, but like Cruel Prince started out with such, it's like probably my favorite prologue ever. Even though that book wasn't quite 5-star for me, I would still make it 4.5, 4.75. But the Cruel Prince trilogy is definitely a 5-star trilogy for me. But like the prologue of that is like one of the most amazing, gripping prologues that I've ever read before. Like you're so invested after like the first 5 pages because that prologue is everything. That like with this, I feel like it would have started off better with a prologue because there wasn't any. And I feel like if we had like a 10-page prologue of like everything that happened in the first 100 pages, I feel like we would have been caught up already. And then they could have just went to the part where they're like in the woods and wanting to go to the magic land and like finding Rafe. Like I feel like the first 60 pages just weren't really essential. So like when I think that about a book, then it's already not going to be a 5-star for me, because like a 5-star has to have me from beginning to end. Like I have to be invested by like the first like 10 pages, or I'm just like, no, this is not a 5-star. But so far I'm enjoying it. So yeah, that's it for now. Now I gotta go to the freaking dentist and I'm so mad. But I haven't been to the dentist in so long. Like I'm so overdue. And it's going to be rush hour, so I'm going to give myself a good 20 minutes to get there. So yeah, bye. That's so cute. It was cute. There's just like recipes on the back of it for the like the cake that they mentioned, but I just finished it. I finished it. I'm a little bit impressed with myself that I finished this already. I don't really know how to feel right now. But I wanted to record my genuine reaction. There was some really good things, and there was just after like the story picked up, I didn't really have that many problems with it, but like I didn't check in after 200 pages because I just was really set on finishing it today. But there were some really good things about it. Like, I loved the love story between Jeremy and Rafe. It was just so cute. And there was one part that was a little bit, you know, upsetting, but also like, so in like the magical world, there's a place called a ghost town, and that's obviously like a general term for like any ghost town that houses souls. So Rafe's father is actually, you know, his lost soul is there because unfortunately his father unalived himself, and he used to abuse Rafe, and that's like the really upsetting part of this book. But it did cover like a lot of topics that I did appreciate, but I didn't think that this story was going to go that deeply into like a lot of like mental health issues and stuff. Like the gay relationship, of course, I loved. Like I'll take that in any book. I love those kind of stories, but like um I I still liked it. I think I'm still set on my rating as 3.5 out of 5 stars because like I don't think that this is too memorable for me, but it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it, but I'm feeling like conflicted about it because like I don't really think it was what it said it was. Like it kind of started off a little bit more like mystery and also like kind of more investigative as to finding out like where these girls are. I kind of wish she would have involved like a investigator in the beginning of the story. I mean, that was kind of Jeremy, but that was also like his magical power was that he could find people. And Rafe's like special power was kind of like a master archer. So I think that was like his big power, but pretty much like even though Jeremy was his knight, Rafe was like actually a better defender, but it was really cute between the two of them. And I don't want to like spoil anything else, but there was one part with his father that got me emotional, but like overall there was some really good points of it. Like it covers like some depression and schizophrenia and also like, you know, just the importance of friendship and love and all of that. But like I still wish that I still think she did a good job of portraying like this story in a short novel, like, because it's only 320 pages and it was fun to read before it came out. But again, like, and it also the narrator parts was so funny, and I felt like the narrator was kind of like another character in the book. So like when you were reading the narration, I thought that was a great addition to reading the story. I think that was very Chronicles of Narnia. I think that does occur in Chronicles of Narnia, but again, I can't believe I finished it today. So, I read like 220 pages or something like that, which is crazy. Like I don't normally read that much in one day, but I don't know. I had nothing else to do today, so I just wanted to read the whole day. Like there's so many books that I want to read. So, but this was good, but honestly, like it, you know, some of the 2024 releases just aren't hitting. But my top 3 favorites of the year so far have been all romance. Well, 2 romances and 1 thriller, which is Abby Jimenez's Just for the Summer, Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, and what was the other one? The Reappearance of Rebel Price by Holly Jackson. Those are like my top 3 favorites of the year so far. But this was fun. It wasn't really like the fantasy that I was craving right now. Like I said, I thought this was just be like a cute magical story, but going back to what the the narrator did for the book, or the storyteller, um, I felt like reading like the internal dialogue was like reading the storyteller's uh not really commentary, but just like reading her storytelling, obviously, of all the characters. But like, it was pretty straightforward, and I did appreciate that. Like, after like the first 100 pages, though, was when it started picking up more. I just feel like, again, those first like 100 pages could have been condensed into probably like 30 or 40 pages. Like, we didn't need 100 pages of setup, but overall, it was an enjoyable book, but not anything that's like too exhilarating. I think I'm just on a high right now because I finished a book in a day, because I pretty much started this. I also have to say that I just finished it on Goodreads. I didn't do that yet. But I'm just gonna rate it 3 stars on Goodreads, because I don't really see myself rating it any higher. It just wasn't really like impactful enough for me in order for me to rate it any higher. So, but it was fun to finish this in a day. But I feel like I'm having like reader's fatigue right now, and like I don't want to read anything else until tomorrow, but it was fun, and I'm so glad I finally finished one of my books of the month. I have 2 other ones on my TBR for this month. I'm going to jump right into Ministry of Time tomorrow, or hopefully can at work. But I might just read some of Spanish Love Deception tomorrow, because I still haven't finished that book yet. I've been reading like so many other books, and I'm still in the middle of that. But I think I can finally listen to it now on my Spotify Premium, because I've been waiting for the audio for my listening hours to come back. So now I can finally listen to it again on there, because it's included in Premium. So yeah, again, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was fun to read before it came out. That's always a fun time. I definitely enjoyed this way more than Middle of the Night when I got that before it came out, because I found that at my local bookstore before it came out. This was definitely more enjoyable, but I don't really see myself keeping this book whatsoever. Like, after I film my reading wrap up for this month, I don't really feel like this is essential for me to keep. But also, like, I will be more intrigued to read The Wishing Game now. That was actually on my TBR for this month, but I decided to read this first because, like I said, this is a new release and I just wanted to read it before it came out. But overall, it was a good time. I don't really want to like say anything else because I don't want to spoil it before it comes out, but basically this wasn't really what I was expecting it to be. I thought it was going to be like a magical, whimsical story, and I feel like it did do that, but again, I just feel like the characters weren't really memorable enough for me, but it did impact me in some way. I really did like, some of it had its moments, like I said, but it wasn't anything like groundbreaking for me to be like thinking about all the time. But I'm not saying like you shouldn't read this. I still think it would be a fun short read because it doesn't really take that much time. It's not really that hard to understand it. It's not complicated storytelling. I think it's just an easy to consume fairy tale, but not really a fairy tale. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I don't think there's anything else I need to remember. If there is, maybe I'll just put it at the end of this or say it tomorrow. But honestly, like I said, I have such reader's fatigue right now that I don't think I can say anything else. But I do love this cover. This cover is so pretty. And yeah, I'm just really excited that I finished it. So yeah. Oh, sorry. So that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. I don't think there's really anything else I need to say because, again, I don't really want to ruin or say anything else. I'm just giving you my review, and it's, it had its moments, and I shared like some things, but it's nothing like really spoilery. So, yeah, hopefully you guys will be able to read this when it comes out. If you're interested in it, let me know. If this deterred you, deferred you, whatever, or made you not want to read it, let me know too. So, yeah, you guys have a good day and keep reading. Bye.